The truth about aging is not that we simply slow down. It is that we are actively, structurally, weakening. And few realize the speed at which this deterioration happens. If you are over 60, you are currently losing muscle mass in your legs at a rate that fundamentally alters your future mobility. This isn't a theory. It is a clinical fact, and the consequences are staggering. If you felt a wobble when you step off a curb, or if climbing stairs now leaves your knees shaking or your thigh muscles burning, you are experiencing the silent epidemic known as sarcopenia. For years, medicine has treated this as an inevitable side effect of getting older, something to simply manage. But what your doctor likely hasn't told you is that this muscle loss, this decline in leg strength, is arguably the single greatest predictor of your independence over the next decade. Landmark research has been unequivocal. Those who lose critical leg strength face a 287% higher chance of eventually needing a walker or a wheelchair within 10 years. This single statistic should be a wake-up call, transforming weakness from a nuisance into a threat to your freedom. I am Dr. Hope, and in my decades of practice and research, I have seen too many patients accept this decline as their fate. But recent groundbreaking research has given us a powerful, simple, and clinically proven answer. The same researchers who identified the shocking risks of leg weakness discovered that just 3 specific movements, performed correctly, can reverse this muscle loss by up to 40% in as little as 12 weeks. This is not a complex, grueling gym routine. It requires no specialized equipment, just your body, and perhaps a sturdy chair. One of these movements is so effective that orthopedic surgeons at institutions like Johns Hopkins have begun prescribing it as a first-line therapy, moving it ahead of invasive knee surgery for certain patients. And the results speak for themselves. 70% of those patients canceled their scheduled knee operations after just 8 weeks because their leg strength and function improved so dramatically. This is the power of targeted, evidence-based movement. This documentary is your comprehensive guide to taking back control. Over the next half hour, we will move beyond just identifying the exercises. We will dissect the biological mechanism of why your muscles are failing, how these 3 movements uniquely counteract that decline, and the exact protocols, the timing, the technique, and the progression that deliver these life-changing results. Specifically, we will cover 8 critical steps to reversing sarcopenia. First, we will expose the silent epidemic of sarcopenia and its dramatic link to mortality and mobility decline. Second, we will look into the specific mechanics of decline, examining why your crucial fast-twitch muscle fibers fail first. Third, we will explore the power of the first essential movement, the wall sit, and its joint-safe isometric mechanism. Fourth, we will detail the step-up, the gold standard of functional training, focusing on the crucial, slow, lowering phase that eliminates muscle imbalances. Fifth, we will introduce the ultimate balance exercise, the single leg stand, and the 10-second test that literally predicts your longevity. Sixth, we will explore the neurological connection, showing how advanced balance training can grow your brain's gray matter. Seventh, I will provide you with the exact Dr. Hope protocol, the strategic 15-minute sequence, and the optimal frequency for maximum adaptation. Finally, we will share the incredible, measurable, real-world impact that motivates thousands to make this change today. Your journey to regaining strength, balance, and independence starts now. To effectively fight sarcopenia, we must first understand its battlefield, the muscle fiber itself. The decline in leg strength that seniors experience is far more complex than simply getting weaker. It is a highly specific biological failure centered around your most powerful and necessary muscle components, the type 2 or fast-twitch muscle fibers. You possess 2 main types of muscle fibers. Type 1 fibers, the slow-twitch fibers, are highly efficient, fatigue-resistant, and primarily responsible for endurance activities like long-distance walking. Type 2 fibers, the fast-twitch fibers, are explosive, powerful, and essential for movements requiring quick action, such as catching yourself when you stumble, sprinting across the street, or hoisting yourself out of a deep chair. Sarcopenia disproportionately targets and eliminates these type 2 fibers. Think about this scenario. You trip slightly on a rug. It is the instantaneous, reflexive, powerful contraction of your type 2 fibers that allows your leg to stabilize, saving you from a fall. When these fibers are lost, that split-second saving grace disappears. This is why the loss of strength is so dramatically linked to falls, which are the #1 cause of injury-related hospitalizations among older adults. By age 80, many seniors have lost up to 50% of their original type 2 fiber volume. The primary mechanism driving this loss is called anabolic resistance. Anabolism refers to the metabolic processes that build up muscle. In younger muscles, when you exercise, consume protein, or perform a heavy physical task, signals like insulin-like growth factor 1, IGF-1, and testosterone flood the muscle cells, initiating the construction of new proteins and the repair of damaged fibers. This is how muscle grows and gets stronger. In the senior body, specifically after age 60, muscle cells become resistant to these anabolic signals. It is as if the key still fits the lock, but the internal mechanism is jammed. Even if you eat enough protein or perform a standard light exercise, your body struggles to generate new muscle tissue. This metabolic jamming is why traditional, low-intensity exercise often fails to stop the slide of sarcopenia. We need to employ specific training stimuli that can override or bypass this anabolic resistance. This is where the profound importance of isometric and eccentric contractions, the core mechanisms of our 3 exercises, comes into play. Furthermore, the connection between muscle decline and systemic health cannot be overstated. Research from the Journal of Gerontology showed that maintaining leg strength is not just about mobility. It is linked to vascular health and glucose metabolism. Muscles are the primary site for glucose disposal in the body. When you lose muscle mass, especially in the large leg muscles, your ability to regulate blood sugar declines, increasing the risk of type 2 diabetes and related cardiovascular issues. The fight against weak legs is, therefore, a fight for your entire metabolic future. We must now turn our attention to the highly specific, evidence-based methods that force the body to rebuild, starting with the safest and most effective way to engage your muscle fibers without placing stress on the joints: the isometric powerhouse. The first movement in our essential 3-part protocol is the wall sit. It might appear deceptively simple, like just leaning against a wall, but what is happening internally within your muscle fibers is a highly powerful and deliberate act of strength building. The wall sit is a masterclass in applying a principle that physical therapists call isometric tension. This means your muscles are working incredibly hard, generating enormous force. But the joint angle is not changing at all. Your knee is staying perfectly still. Why is this distinction crucial, especially for older adults? Because unlike traditional exercises like regular squats, which involve movement that places direct shearing pressure on the knee joint, the wall sit allows you to activate deep, powerful muscle groups without that friction or wear and tear. This makes it an ideal starting point for anyone dealing with arthritis or chronic knee discomfort. When you execute a wall sit correctly, you are activating virtually every single fiber in your quadriceps, the large, powerful muscles on the front of your thighs. But the engagement does not stop there. You are also intensely firing up your glutes, the crucial hamstring muscles, and, perhaps most importantly, those tiny, deep stabilizer muscles around your knee joint that most typical linear exercises completely overlook. These stabilizers are essential for preventing lateral knee wobbling, which is a major contributor to knee pain and instability. A study published in the European Journal of Applied Physiology tracked 65 adults over the age of 60 and revealed the stunning effectiveness of this simple exercise. Those participants who consistently performed wall sits just 3 times per week increased their leg strength by an impressive 31% in only 8 weeks. Even more critical for daily life, their balance scores improved by 23%, translating directly to better stability and fewer falls. To perform the wall sit with maximum benefit, you must adhere to the correct technique. First, find a clear wall space and stand with your entire back flat against it. Your feet should be positioned about shoulder width apart and approximately 2 feet away from the wall. Before you initiate the descent, here is the key that many people miss. Engage your core muscles. Imagine someone is about to lightly tap you in the stomach and brace yourself. This core engagement is vital because it protects your lower back from arching and effectively doubles the working load on your leg muscles. Slowly slide your back down the wall until your thighs are perfectly parallel to the floor, creating a 90-degree angle at your knees. If 90 degrees is too intense initially, stop comfortably at a 45-degree angle and work your way down over the subsequent weeks. Ensure your knees are aligned directly above your ankles. They must never be pushed forward past your toes. Press your entire back, particularly the lower lumbar region, firmly against the wall, preventing any arching. Begin by holding this position for 20 seconds. I assure you, those last 5 seconds will feel like a profound physical challenge. The true secret to maximizing your hold time lies in a controlled breathing pattern. Most individuals instinctively hold their breath, which immediately cuts off oxygen to the working muscles and causes premature fatigue. Instead, breathe slowly and deeply through your nose, using a controlled count of 4 seconds inhaling and 4 seconds exhaling. This deliberate breathing technique is scientifically proven to increase your sustainable hold time by an average of 35%. As your strength progresses, follow the sports science recommendation and add 5 seconds to your hold time each week. The ultimate benchmark to aim for is holding the perfect 90-degree position for a full minute. Once you achieve the 1-minute standard, introduce the advanced variation. Slightly lift one heel off the ground for 5 seconds, then smoothly switch heels. This subtle shift activates the smaller stabilizer muscles that are crucial for preventing ankle rolls and stumbles during daily life. For optimal adherence, research shows that morning exercise routines for people over 60 have adherence rates 45% higher than evening routines. So make the wall sit the first thing you do each morning when your muscles are fresh. Our second foundational movement is the step-up, an exercise that rehabilitation centers around the world recognize as the gold standard test for functional leg strength. The step-up is so powerful because it closely mirrors the most basic movements of everyday life: climbing stairs, getting in and out of a car, stepping up onto a curb. Yet its true value goes far deeper than simple practicality. It directly addresses one critical problem that quietly undermines almost every aging body: muscle imbalance. Step-ups are a form of unilateral training, meaning each leg is forced to work on its own, one side at a time. This point is absolutely essential because every one of us has a leg that is naturally stronger than the other. In traditional two-leg exercises, such as standard squats, the stronger leg instinctively takes over and compensates for the weaker side, allowing the imbalance to remain hidden and gradually worsen. Over time, these unresolved imbalances become silent contributors to chronic hip discomfort and persistent knee pain. Step-ups remove this compensation entirely, compelling the weaker leg to adapt, strengthen, and eventually catch up, restoring balanced strength throughout the lower body. The clinical evidence behind the protective power of the step-up is striking. Researchers at the University of Sydney followed more than 400 older adults and uncovered a powerful finding. Participants who could complete 15 continuous step-ups without stopping had a dramatically lower risk of developing serious mobility limitations 5 years later. In practical terms, your ability to perform step-ups becomes a direct reflection of how resilient your future mobility will be. To begin, choose a solid and stable platform: a sturdy step, a staircase, or a small box, ideally about 6 to 8 inches high. If balance is a concern, position yourself near a wall or railing that you can lightly touch for reassurance. Stand facing the step with your feet placed about hip-width apart, grounding yourself before you move. Perfect technique is what transforms this exercise from ordinary to exceptional. Place your entire right foot firmly onto the step, not just your toes. Using the full surface of your foot dramatically increases muscle activation compared to balancing only on the ball of the foot. From here, press powerfully through your right heel and lift your body straight upward. It is crucial that you do not push off with the back leg. The leg on the step must do all the work. Once you are standing tall on the step, the most important phase begins, lowering yourself back down slowly and with control. Take a full 3 seconds for this descent. This slow lowering, known as the eccentric phase, is where the deepest strengthening occurs, as your muscles must work intensely to control your body against gravity. Rushing this phase is the most common mistake and instantly reduces the effectiveness of the movement. Studies in biomechanics have shown that slowing both the upward and downward phases dramatically increases muscle activation compared to fast, uncontrolled step-ups. Start with 10 repetitions on your right leg, then switch immediately to your left. If this feels manageable, resist the temptation to simply add more repetitions. Instead, increase the challenge by choosing a slightly higher step. Even a small increase in step height significantly raises the difficulty and the training effect. As the weeks pass, aim for a height that creates roughly a right angle bend at your knee when your foot is placed on the step. This full range of motion strengthens your legs in the exact pattern they need for daily life. For best results, perform step-ups every other day, allowing your muscles about 2 days to recover and rebuild stronger. On rest days, a gentle 5-minute walk is enough to keep blood circulating through the legs. This active recovery approach has been shown to reduce soreness while accelerating strength gains compared to complete rest. Throughout the exercise, constantly observe your knee alignment. Your knee should track smoothly over your second toe and never collapse inward. If you notice any wobbling, lower the step height immediately until perfect control returns. Poor knee alignment is one of the fastest ways to create joint pain, and the purpose of this movement is to protect your joints, not challenge them recklessly. We now arrive at the most potent movement in this entire protocol, the one that even orthopedic surgeons are beginning to recommend before considering certain knee surgeries: the single leg stand. At first glance, it may look almost laughably simple, just standing on one leg. Yet the science behind it is nothing short of astonishing. The moment you lift one foot off the ground, your body is forced into an emergency coordination mode, activating an incredible 73 different muscles at the same time simply to keep you upright. To put that into perspective, normal walking only recruits around 20 muscles at once. This dramatic difference is why the single-leg stand stands in a category of its own. The sheer challenge of stabilizing your entire body weight over one small point of contact turns it into a master exercise for total body integration, strength, and balance. But this movement is far more than a balance drill. Your ability to perform it is a surprisingly powerful indicator of overall health and even longevity. A landmark long-term study published in the British Medical Journal followed more than 1,700 adults over the age of 60 for a full decade. The results were sobering. Those who were unable to stand on one leg for just 10 seconds had a dramatically higher risk of death from all causes over the following 10 years. Pause for a moment and let that reality settle in. The simple act of balancing on one leg for 10 seconds can reflect how resilient and how long-lasting your body truly is. Beyond its role as a predictor of lifespan, the single leg stand earns its place at the top of this list because it is the only exercise here that improves 4 critical systems at the same time: strength, balance, coordination, and, uniquely, bone density. When your full body weight is stacked vertically over a single leg, it creates a strong compressive force through the bones of the foot, shin, thigh, and hip. This pressure is not harmful, it is essential. It sends a powerful biological signal to specialized bone-building cells, prompting them to lay down new bone tissue. This is one of the body's most effective natural defenses against osteoporosis. Research published in the American Journal of Medicine showed that adults over 60 who practiced single-leg stands for just 5 minutes a day experienced a measurable increase in hip bone density within 6 months, effectively turning back several years of age-related bone loss. At the same time, The deep stabilizing muscles around your ankles, knees, and hips are working non-stop, sending constant sensory information back to your brain. Scientists call this proprioceptive feedback, your body's built-in ability to sense where it is in space without needing to look. When proprioception improves, reaction time becomes sharper, movements become more precise, and the risk of tripping or falling drops dramatically. This is why people who train balance consistently seem to move with more confidence and grace, even as they age. To perform the single leg stand correctly and safely, start by positioning yourself next to a sturdy chair, countertop, or wall that you can reach instantly if needed. Stand tall, feet about hip-width apart, posture relaxed but alert. Slowly lift your right foot off the ground, bringing the knee up to roughly a 45-degree angle, remembering that control matters far more than height. Keep the standing leg straight but never locked. A gentle bend in the knee protects the joint and recruits even more stabilizing muscles. Fix your gaze on a single, unmoving point directly in front of you. Studies show that visual focus alone can significantly extend balance time. Hold this position for 30 seconds, then gently lower the foot and switch sides. While 30 seconds is an excellent initial target, the real transformation comes from gradual progression, which we will explore in the next section. The real, lasting impact of the single leg stand extends far beyond your muscles and bones. It directly strengthens your brain. This exercise is not just physical training, it is sophisticated neurological training. Once you can comfortably hold the 30-second duration with your eyes open, you must introduce the progressive challenges that force your nervous system to adapt. The first challenge is the most profound: closing your eyes. When you close your eyes while balancing, you instantly remove the visual feedback that your brain heavily relies on for orientation. This immediately forces your other two balance systems, the somatosensory system, feedback from pressure receptors in your feet and joints, and the vestibular system, the balance center located in your inner ear, to work harder. A Japanese study found that consistently practicing the single leg stand with eyes closed improved reaction time by 28%. This rapid reaction time is absolutely crucial for catching yourself when you trip or when you encounter an unexpected change in terrain. After mastering the eyes closed balance, the next level of challenge involves adding dynamic movement to the static balance. While balancing on one leg, slowly move your raised leg forward and back, mimicking a gentle pendulum swing. This dynamic pattern strengthens the hip flexors and glutes while actively challenging your stability across multiple planes of motion. However, the most advanced high-leverage variation, the one physical therapists use with elite athletes over 60, is adding head movement. While balancing on one leg, with or without eyes closed, slowly turn your head left and right, as if you were saying no. Start with 5 slow head turns in each direction, building up to 10. This head movement intentionally destabilizes your vestibular system, the fluid-filled canals in your inner ear that detect movement and gravity. Forcing the system to stabilize while your body is already unbalanced significantly sharpens your protective reflexes. A study from the Cleveland Clinic found that adding these head movements to the single-leg stand protocol improved overall balance scores by 52% more than the standard single-leg stand protocol leg stand alone. The connection between this balance work and cognitive function is absolutely fascinating. Researchers at Kyoto University performed detailed brain scans on older adults before and after 3 months of consistent single-leg stand training. They discovered a measurable structural change: increased gray matter in the hippocampus, the region of the brain responsible for memory and spatial navigation. The participants also scored 18% better on cognitive tests after the intervention. Balancing on one leg literally grows your brain while simultaneously strengthening your body. This powerful dual benefit is why neurologists now widely recommend balance training as a foundational strategy to combat both physical and cognitive decline. This entire process demonstrates that the decline in mobility is not merely a muscular issue, it is a neurological one, and we must train the brain and the body together to future-proof our independence. We have carefully unraveled the mechanics behind the three most powerful movements in this system: the joint-friendly wall sit, the highly functional step-up, and the brain-awakening single-leg stand. Yet understanding each exercise on its own is only part of the story. To truly unlock the full reversal of age-related muscle loss, the most decisive factor is what we call the Dr. Hope protocol, the precise sequence and timing that allows your muscles and nervous system to adapt together, efficiently and safely. These movements cannot be scattered randomly throughout your day. The order in which you perform them deeply influences how your body responds, how strongly it adapts, and how well those gains transfer into real life. The routine must be built to guide your body through a natural progression, first awakening the muscles and nervous system, then applying strength through functional movement, and finally demanding full body integration under mild fatigue, exactly the way life challenges us outside the exercise room. The sequence always begins with wall sits. This first step serves two essential purposes. The sustained, motionless tension gently warms the largest muscle groups in your legs, the thighs, hamstrings, and glutes, without any pounding or joint stress. At the same time, holding the position sends a clear signal to your nervous system, switching on the neural pathways responsible for strength, stability, and control. This activation phase is crucial. It prepares your entire system to perform complex movements with better coordination and reduced injury risk. Hold the wall sit anywhere from 20 seconds up to a full minute, depending on your ability, and aim for 3 controlled holds with short rests in between. From there, move directly into the step-ups. This is the heart of the strength-building phase. Transitioning straight from the static wall sit into the dynamic, one-leg-at-a-time step-up forces your freshly activated muscles to work in a real-world pattern. This is where strength becomes functional. Pay close attention to the slow, deliberate lowering phase, allowing your body to descend with control rather than dropping quickly. This slow descent recruits the deepest muscle fibers and steadily corrects strength differences between your legs. Perform 3 sets of 10 repetitions per leg, staying focused on smooth movement, steady breathing, and perfect knee alignment throughout. The routine concludes with the single leg stand, and its placement at the end is entirely intentional. By this point, your primary muscles are mildly fatigued from the earlier exercises. Challenging balance and body awareness in this state is incredibly valuable because it mirrors real-life situations, such as catching yourself when you trip at the end of a long day or steadying your body when you stand up tired. Begin with 3 holds of 30 seconds on each leg, keeping your eyes open. As your confidence grows, you can gradually add more advanced variations, such as gently closing your eyes or slowly turning your head while maintaining balance. From start to finish, this entire sequence takes about 15 minutes, short enough to fit easily into daily life, yet powerful enough to drive meaningful change. Just as important as the exercises themselves is how often you perform them. Consistency always outweighs intensity. Your muscles and nervous system thrive on regular, repeated signals. The ideal frequency for this protocol is 3 sessions per week, always allowing at least 1 full rest day between sessions, so your body has time to repair and rebuild stronger. A simple schedule might place sessions on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. On the days in between, light activity, such as an easy walk or gentle stretching, keeps blood flowing and reduces stiffness without interfering with recovery. To reinforce these gains even further, the single leg stand can be woven into your day as a standalone practice. On the 3 main training days, complete the full 15-minute routine. On the remaining 4 days, perform the single leg stand alone 3 times a day, once in the morning after waking, once after lunch, and once in the evening before bed. This spacing gives your nervous system multiple opportunities to practice balance and reinforce stability patterns. Morning practice gently wakes up your balance system for the day ahead. Afternoon practice counteracts the fatigue that builds up over hours of activity. And evening practice plays a particularly important role, significantly reducing the risk of nighttime falls, especially during those half-asleep trips to the bathroom when accidents most often occur. Finally, Keep a simple record of your progress. Write down how long you hold your wall sit, how many controlled step-ups you complete, and how long you can stand on one leg. Watching those numbers slowly climb from week to week is more than motivating. It is tangible proof that your body is regaining strength, stability, and confidence, one deliberate step at a time. The true power of this evidence-based protocol is revealed not in charts or laboratories, but in everyday life, in the quiet moments where independence is either preserved or slowly lost. At its core, this program offers something profoundly meaningful: the chance to reclaim control over your own body and, in many cases, to step away from the path toward invasive surgery. To show you what this looks like beyond theory, let me share real-world results that carry a weight no abstract promise ever could. A physical therapy clinic in Boston closely followed 200 adults over the age of 60 who committed to this exact three-movement routine: the wall sit, the step-up, and the single leg stand. No extreme workouts, no special equipment, just 15 focused minutes a day. After only 3 months, the changes they recorded were nothing short of remarkable. More than 2/3 of these individuals reported that they could climb stairs confidently without gripping a railing for support. A shift that signals not just stronger legs, but restored trust in their own bodies. Nearly 3/4 found that standing up from low chairs or soft couches became noticeably easier, a clear sign that the fast, powerful muscle fibers essential for independence were waking up again. Most striking of all, almost half of the participants experienced a dramatic reduction in chronic knee pain, and for many, that pain disappeared entirely. These were not athletes or fitness enthusiasts. They were ordinary older adults who simply chose consistency over complexity, showing up day after day for a short, purposeful routine grounded in science. The clinic's director later observed an unexpected outcome that speaks volumes. A significant number of patients canceled their scheduled knee replacement consultations. Their movement improved so much that surgery was no longer considered necessary. This reveals a truth that is often overlooked. What feels like joint failure is frequently the result of muscle weakness and instability. And when those weaknesses are addressed directly, the body responds. The benefits reach even further. The single leg stand in particular connects physical strength with brain health. Research linking this movement to increased gray matter in areas responsible for memory and spatial awareness shows that you are not just training your legs, you are supporting your mind. Practicing balance, especially in the evening, has been shown to dramatically reduce nighttime falls, offering critical protection during those half-awake trips to the bathroom, when injuries most often occur. You can expect to feel changes sooner than you might think. Many people notice subtle improvements within the first 2 weeks, and by 6 weeks, the results can be genuinely life-changing. This program is built on a simple but powerful truth: consistency always beats intensity. Moving at a manageable effort several times a week for a few months will take you further than pushing yourself to extremes once in a while. Your muscles and nervous system adapt best when they are given steady, repeated signals, not occasional shocks. These 3 movements, the wall sit, the step-up, and the single leg stand, can mark the difference between needing help to move through the world and being strong enough to offer that help to others. What you are really investing in is freedom, confidence, and the ability to live fully without constant limitation. Begin today. Begin gently if you need to, but begin. Every repetition is a quiet promise to your future self, and one day you will look back and be grateful that you kept it. The message I want to leave with you is one of profound empowerment. The natural decline of muscle strength, once viewed as an inevitable fate, is now fully recognized as a condition that can be effectively and simply reversed. We have dissected the silent threat of sarcopenia, explored its biological mechanism in your fast-twitch fibers, and armed you with 3 highly potent, research-backed movements that target strength, function, balance, and even cognitive health. You now possess the Dr. Hope Protocol, a 15-minute sequence that is your blueprint for reclaiming physical control. Do not let the simplicity of these exercises deceive you. Their impact is validated by orthopedic surgeons and clinical trials worldwide. True vitality in your senior years is not about avoiding the passage of time, but about engaging with it, proactively building the strength and resilience needed to maintain your cherished freedom. Take this knowledge, start the protocol, and secure the independent, healthy future you deserve.